Vanessa Brown, a 50-year-old history teacher and mother of two, found herself in a police custody cell for over 7 hours after confiscating her children's iPads. The incident, which she describes as unspeakable devastation and trauma, began when she took away the devices to ensure her daughters focused on their studies. Instead of a routine parenting decision, it led to her arrest on suspicion of theft after a man in his 40s reported the iPads as stolen. Surrey police acted swiftly, tracking the devices to Miss Brown's mother's home in Cobham, where she was apprehended. Officers searched her, took custody photographs, and even visited her children's school, pulling one of her daughters out of class. Miss Brown was eventually released after a 12-hour ordeal, but not before being subjected to bail conditions that initially barred her from seeing her children, a particularly cruel twist just before Mother's Day. The police later acknowledged their mistake, admitting she had every right to confiscate her own children's belongings. Miss Brown expressed disbelief at the heavy-handed response, questioning why such resources were allocated to her case, while serious crimes in her neighborhood went unaddressed. "I cannot get to the bottom of why it was done in such a quick turnaround," she said, highlighting the disproportionate nature of the police action. The ordeal left her in a catatonic state, with lasting emotional scars from what she calls a thoroughly unprofessional handling of the situation. A pattern of police overreach? This incident is not isolated. Just last month, another couple faced a similar ordeal after complaining about their daughter's primary school on WhatsApp. Maxie Allen, a Times radio producer, and his partner Rosalind Levine were arrested on suspicion of harassment and malicious communications following a dispute over teacher recruitment. 6 uniformed officers descended on their home, arresting them in front of their crying children before locking them in cells for 11 hours. After a 5-week investigation, Hertfordshire police concluded there was no case to answer. Mr. Allen described the experience as dystopian and accused the school of using the police to silence awkward parents. The couple's arrest, like Miss Brown's, raises serious questions about whether law enforcement is being weaponized to settle minor disputes, often at the expense of innocent families. Critics argue that these cases reflect a troubling trend of police prioritizing trivial complaints over genuine emergencies. Tory MP Anthony Stansfeld, a former police and crime commissioner, called Surrey Police's actions incompetence and overzealousness, urging a personal apology from the chief constable. Meanwhile, Hertfordshire police defended their response, stating the arrests were necessary to fully investigate the allegations, despite the eventual dismissal of the case. The broader implications, these incidents highlight a growing concern about police resources being misallocated. Miss Brown's case, in particular, underscores how easily a routine parenting decision can spiral into a traumatic legal ordeal. Her frustration is palpable. They were able to send multiple police cars for this, but violent crimes in our area go unanswered for days. The disparity in response times between minor disputes and serious crimes suggests a need for clearer priorities within law enforcement. Moreover, the emotional toll on families caught in these situations cannot be overstated. Miss Brown's bail conditions initially prevented her from seeing her children, while Mr. Allen's family endured the humiliation of a very public arrest. Both cases reveal how quickly lives can be upended by overzealous policing, often with little accountability after the fact. As public scrutiny grows, police forces must reassess their protocols to prevent such overreach. While thorough investigations are necessary, proportionality and common sense should guide decisions, especially when children and families are involved. Without reform, these incidents risk eroding trust in law enforcement and leaving innocent citizens to bear the brunt of systemic failures. Summary: Vanessa Brown's arrest for confiscating her children's iPads and the similar ordeal faced by Maxie Allen and Rosalind Levine expose a troubling pattern of police overreach. Both cases involved disproportionate responses to minor issues, leaving families traumatized and raising questions about law enforcement priorities. As calls for accountability grow, these incidents serve as a stark reminder of the need for balance between thorough policing and protecting citizens from unnecessary harm.